Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. As I'm sure you already know, based on the title, I say this every video, I gotta stop that. Today we are going to be talking about running. So if you're familiar with my channel, you know I've talked about running quite a bit. Running and walking were my major forms of exercise when I lost weight, and to this day they are still my favorite forms of exercise. So I figured I would make a video more specifically on how to avoid common mistakes in running. So like I said, I do have a couple of videos on this. The difference between those videos and this video is I'm actually going to be showing you guys visually some of the most common mistakes when it comes to beginner runners. So yes, I will be getting off my lazy ass and going outside with my tripod and my camera, getting all the dirty fucking looks. But that is what I'm gonna be doing. I'm so fucking hot. I had to put my hat on because I haven't washed my hair in a few days, because I just got it dyed black, and the hairdresser told me I should only wash it every few days to maintain the black, so I'm just gonna be sweating this whole video. So running is one of those things that you either love or you hate. I feel like everyone at some point in their life has hated running, and honestly I think it is because a lot of people run incorrectly, and since they are running incorrectly, it actually makes it more difficult than it has to be. Obviously running when you start is going to be difficult, just like any physical activity, but I don't think running is inherently more difficult than any other form of cardio. So that's why I wanted to share with you some things I've learned over my past 3 years of running, with of course paying close attention to people who are out of shape or overweight, because that's how I started. And when you are out of shape or overweight, you are at a higher risk of injuring yourself just because there is more pressure on your joints, everything like that. Let's go. So I of course have my little script that I wrote so I don't miss any points. So the 6 main things I will be talking about But anyway, the 6 main things I will be talking about today include proper running form, breathing tips, proper stride, chafing prevention. Nobody likes chafing. So one of the most common mistakes when it comes to form when you're running is actually hunching over. So as I'm literally hunched over like fucking Shrek right now. So when you're running, your body is already putting itself through so much strain, and you're already trying so hard not to stop running, essentially, that you're not really paying attention to the form of your body. So what you want to do when you're running is you want to make sure you are up straight. Up straight. So what I like to do is I like to pretend that there's something on my head pulling my body up, so I remain with good posture. Because what tends to happen is when you're running, you hunch over a lot, and that's basically because, you know, your body is really tired and it's easier to hunch and maintain poor posture than it is to maintain good posture. But the problem with this, on top of just having bad posture when you're running, is that it actually makes it harder for you to breathe while you're running. So when you're up straight, you leave a lot of room for your diaphragm to expand and take in oxygen. Oxygen is very important while you're running because obviously you're short of breath. Your breaths are really shallow. You feel like you're fucking dying. So you really want to make it easy for yourself to take in as much oxygen as, you know, possible for your body. A lot of the time, what happens with people who begin running, and I know this because this has happened to me, people actually stop running not because their body is incapable of continuing to run, but because they can't breathe. So if you find that you're having trouble breathing and you have to stop because you can't catch your breath and you feel like you're gonna fucking die, I definitely suggest looking into how you're holding your body, especially your posture. You want to stay upright. Remember, pretend that something's on top of your head pulling you up, and you want to make sure that your diaphragm has the ability to expand when you know, your oxygen. All right, so the second point I want to talk about, and this is very closely intertwined with what I was just talking about, but that's breathing. So like I was saying, your posture while running really helps you breathe more efficiently. One of the most common mistakes when it comes to breathing for people who are just starting out running is that their breaths are actually too short. As your heart rate increases as you run, you start to breathe faster to, you know, intake more oxygen. The problem with this is that if you're not regulating your breathing on your own, your breath starts to become very short. And when your breaths are short, they are not providing as much oxygen as you need to maintain your running. So there are 2 main methods that I have used to kind of help regulate my breathing and ensure that like I breathe more deeply and longer. So the first one, and I've talked about this before on my channel because I learned this in literally elementary school, and that is to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. The reason why this sometimes helps with regulating your breathing while you run is that it usually takes longer for you to breathe through your nose, therefore you are taking in more oxygen. But just like breathing through your mouth, you can fuck this up. You know, you could be like, but like, if you're doing that, you gotta stop. You really have to try and remind yourself to breathe in and then breathe out. Obviously this gets a bit more difficult while you're actually running because like I said, you're more so just focused on not stopping instead of your breathing, your posture, everything like that. So a method that I have found that has really helped me regulate my breathing while running is actually called rhythmic breathing. So what this means is you base your breathing off your steps. So for me, for example, what I find works best for me is I breathe in over 4 steps. So I'm like running like 1, 2, 3, 4, that's me breathing in. And then the next 4 steps, I'm breathing out. And I find that just having something that I can numerically count or having something that I can use as a point of reference for my breathing, that has really helped me regulate to the point where I don't feel like I'm dying. And if I do start to feel like I'm dying, I just go back to the rhythmic breathing. So like I said, for me, it's 4, 4, 4, but depending on the length of your legs, how fast you're running, a bunch of factors, it's gonna vary per person. So definitely go out, see what works for you. If you cannot control your breathing at all while running, even with this rhythmic breathing, you know, your deep breaths, everything like that, chances are you're just running way faster or way harder than you're really equipped to do at this point. So if you're just beginning running, go out, start with jogging, start with fast walking, and then work your way up to running. So the third mistake that people often make when running is they overstride. Basically what it means is when you're running, your strides are way longer than they should be. I see it all the time when I'm out running, and honestly, I still do it sometimes too. And I definitely did it when I first started. I don't know why we all have this idea that when you're running, you should be like striding as far as you can. That really is not the case at all. I feel like a lot of us are just misinformed based off what we see, even though we don't actually understand what we're seeing. Good way to describe that, Jordan. What I'm trying to say is, like, if we watch the Olympics or we watch people who are very good at running, we see that their strides look massive. They are taking big steps. Like that's how they run fast. However, what we're not really focusing on is where their foot lands, and that's the most important part when you're running. So when you're taking big strides, it's very difficult to get your foot back under you. So when you're running, you want your foot to land beneath you. Like, you don't want your foot to land in front of you. You don't. That's not what you want. When your foot lands in front of your body, it is also landing in front of your center of gravity. So not only are you decreasing performance, but you are putting yourself at risk of injuring yourself. Overstriding is actually one of the main contributors to shin splints. I get questions on that all the time. How do you stop shin splints? Shin splints are usually caused because you are landing too heavy in front of your body. If you're landing in front of your body, you are putting a lot of strain on your knee, right? Because you're landing in front, that's your knee and then your body. But if you land with your foot below your body, it's okay. So you really want to practice landing with your feet straight with your body. Hi guys, so I apologize. I tried my best to get footage of this. It was just really difficult because I feel like I need a longer video clip of me running, which I couldn't get outside because obviously my phone was stationary. And I also tried getting it on the treadmill as well, but the angle was just really bad and there was nowhere where I could place my phone, so that didn't work either. So I just went online and I found some examples to better illustrate what I'm talking about here. So the first one is proper form, and since I was just talking about Olympic runners, I figured we would use our boy Usain Bolt just to show how he's running and how, although he has really big strides, he's always landing perfectly below his body. So that's what I mean when I am talking about landing below your body. You can also see, as we talked about before, he's maintaining a very straight posture while he's running. And then this is just another video I found online. Both original videos will be linked down below because I didn't take the footage and I want to give full credit to the people who they belong to. But this is just an example of someone who is overstriding, putting too much pressure on their ankle while they land, which, like I said, can lead to a lot of injuries. So that's what I mean by this. I hope that makes sense. Like I said, I still make the mistakes sometimes as well. It's just a matter of practice and making sure that the majority of pressure when you land is below your body instead of in front of it. All right, the fourth, everyone, and that is chafing. Nobody likes chafing. Who likes chafing? Oh, nobody. Okay. So for those of you who do not know, which if there is someone who doesn't know what this is, bless your heart, you have lived a privileged fucking life. Basically, chafing is when your skin rubs together and it starts to hurt. It causes a rash, your skin can rip, you can have open wounds. It's just not fucking fun. Chafing is very common in running because of the combination of skin, sweat, and rubbing clothing. And since we can't change our anatomy, since we can't, you know, move our bones so that our legs don't rub together when they touch, I would say that my best advice is to just wear clothes that reduce the probability of chafing occurring. I mean, that's what's worked most for me. So for example, when I run, I only run in tight leggings. So like running leggings, yoga leggings. And if I'm wearing shorts, they have to be cycling shorts. I cannot run in those little cute sporty shorts that like are all flowy. I cannot run in track pants. I cannot run in anything that has exposed skin touching. Another big tip that I used to do when I was bigger was I would actually put like powdered deodorant in between my legs, and it would help a lot when it came to chafing. I wouldn't chafe as much because all of a sudden the sticky sweat is much smoother because there's the powdered deodorant. So the fifth mistake that people make when it comes to running or starting running is they overpace themselves. So what I mean by this, again, like I said, a lot of us have a very sensationalized view of running because when you watch movies, TV shows, whatever, the people are usually very experienced runners. When you first start running, that is not what you need to be striving for. You need to be really focusing on the basics of your running, and that usually means starting off very, 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 very fucking slow. Especially if you are overweight, I highly suggest starting with jogging. Like I said at the beginning of this video, there are a lot of injuries that people are susceptible to, especially if you have improper form or you are overweight. I dealt with all of it when I was bigger. I pushed myself too hard, I ran too fast, and I'm suffering from it right now. So currently I have had to take a break from running long distances because my knees are fucked up. Runner's knee is unfortunately a very common injury. There is no need or no reason for you to push yourself past your capabilities. When it comes to an activity that often results in a lot of people being injured, it's just smarter to be careful about it. I suggest starting out with jogging. Jogging is a fun time. I honestly even suggest starting out with walking. Like if you aren't even used to walking, start with walking, build your way up to running. And then finally, this isn't really a mistake, this is just a point I wanted to make, and that is no matter what level you are, no matter how shitty you think you are at running, never compare yourself to anyone else, because I'm telling you, when you're out there running, the only one who really cares about what you look like is you. People who are running are doing that for themselves. You really don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone, because I know it's very anxiety inducing. When I was bigger, I would walk home from high school and people would like moo at me from the fucking windows of their cars and shit. And like, I know it's scary, but always remember that whatever you're doing, it's for your health and it's to better yourself. All those people who mooed at me from their car windows, oh, look at me now. Fucking thriving. And what about them? Probably still projecting their insecurities by yelling at people from their car windows. And that is my motivational talk of the day. So yeah, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I wish you all the best in your running adventures, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!